Ever thought about combining two photos for that dreamy, artsy look? Well, today, we're diving into a super simple way to create an eye-catching double exposure effect in Photoshop. Let's kick things off by selecting the main subject in our photo. First up, grab the Quick Selection tool. It's right there in your toolbar. Once you have that, go up to Select Subject at the top. Photoshop is going to do most of the heavy lifting here by finding our main subject automatically. Once we've got our selection, press Ctrl+J on your keyboard to create a new layer with just the subject we selected. This separates the subject from the background, which we'll be doing some fun things with in a second. Now go ahead and delete the background layer. Next, let's make sure we stay organized. Rename this new layer Model by double-clicking the layer name in the Layers panel. Renaming layers might seem minor, but it's a lifesaver when you're working with multiple layers. The Crop tool comes in handy here. Select it, then drag to expand the canvas a bit on the right and top sides. We're giving ourselves some extra room for the effect. Now let's set up a nice background. Head to Adjustment Layer, Solid Color, select White, and hit OK. Pull this layer down in the Layers panel so it sits behind the model. This way, we're set up with a clean, white canvas that'll help the double exposure effect stand out. To add a bit of a stylized look to the model, press Ctrl+Shift+U to desaturate it. This removes all the color and gives it a nice black and white effect, setting the stage perfectly for our double exposure vibe. Here's where the magic starts. Bring in your mountain image by dragging it onto the canvas. This will add a beautiful texture over the model's face. Let's rename this layer to Mountain so it's easy to spot. Reduce its opacity to 50% so we can see both the mountain and the model layers at the same time. Now resize the mountain so it fits right over the model's face. Right-click on the mountain layer and select Flip Horizontal if you want to adjust the direction. Once you're happy with the placement, set the opacity back to 100%. Now let's merge these images more precisely. Go to the model layer and hold Ctrl while clicking on the thumbnail. This selects the outline of the model. Now jump over to the mountain layer and click the Add a Layer Mask icon at the bottom of the Layers panel. This clips the mountain image to the shape of the model, creating the initial double exposure effect. For a bit more depth, duplicate the model layer by pressing Ctrl+J and dragging this copy to the very top of your layer stack. Change the blending mode to lighten and reduce the opacity to 50%. This will lighten up some areas and make the blend look more natural. Once again, click on the Add a Layer Mask icon to mask this layer. Next, pick the Brush tool from the toolbar. Set the foreground color to black and adjust the opacity of the brush to around 40%. Now, with the mask on the top model layer selected, start painting over the areas where you want the mountain effect to peek through. A softer brush helps with blending, so feel free to adjust the brush settings as needed. Switch back to the mountain layer's mask and continue painting in or out details to make the blend as smooth as possible. If you want a slightly different background tone, double-click the background color layer and you can adjust the shade to whatever you like. Let's bring in more highlights. Duplicate the mountain layer by pressing Ctrl+J. Delete the layer mask on this duplicate and change its blending mode to Lighten. Hold Alt and click on the Add a Layer Mask icon to hide everything in this layer for now. Switch to the Brush tool and set the foreground color to white to reveal parts of the mountain by painting where you want additional highlights. It's all about layering subtle details to bring out that final look. Time to add some color. Select the top layer. Go to Adjustment Layer, Solid Color. Choose a light pink shade and change its blending mode to Multiply. Set the opacity down to 20% so it gives just a gentle color tint, enhancing the overall mood without overpowering. Almost there. Merge all the layers into a single layer by pressing Alt plus Control plus Shift plus E. Desaturate this merged layer with Control plus Shift plus U and set its blending mode to Soft Light with an opacity of 30%. This adds a dreamy, soft light effect over the entire piece. And there you have it, a stunning double exposure effect with just a few simple steps. If you love this, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you want to learn next. Keep creating, and I'll see you in the next video.